There is a lot going on in the world right now with a lot of different things, a lot of environment and political and just like human safety things happening all at once. And I'm not super up to date with all of it, and I'm not super educated on all of it, but I would seriously encourage you guys to keep checking out the links down in the description. And if you have any other links with certain topics that you would like me to bring into light kind of and like bring to people's awareness, please let me know. Send them to me on any of my social medias that are listed down below, and just, you know, be like, hey, listen, put this in your description so other people can see it when they check out your videos. I am more than happy to do that. Obviously, take care of yourselves as best you can, but at the same time, do whatever you can to help out all the vulnerable communities that are out there in this world that need our help. Hello Friendzies, welcome back to my channel. No, I will not apologize for the lighting. You're lucky I even did my makeup today because it is hot. I think we're having a heat wave again. I know there's a tropical storm coming. By the time this video goes up, it may have already happened, and who knows what's like happened to my town and my area around that time. But yeah, there's a lot happening weather-wise. You're lucky I even did makeup. You have my crappy desk lighting today. That's what we're working with. All right. So remember that video I did a couple weeks ago, a month ago? I don't remember at this point, but remember that video I did where it was like, white girl has some movie opinions? I have some more movie opinions. Actually, I have some movie recs. And before I get into them, I just want to remind you that yes, I am in fact a white woman. I am a white woman who has trauma, so my favorite brand of movie is like marketed for children usually. My movie recs don't really have anything to do with, like, important, like, worldview things, I guess, like, political worldview sort of situations like that, and I have no, like, film education at all. I'm not a film major. I was an English major, but I dropped out. So, take these with a grain of salt, but I wanted to give you guys some movie recommendations of movies that I really enjoy. So, we're gonna get into that. Okay, so the first movie I want to talk about is The Little Vampire. This was an absolute iconic movie of my childhood. I was that weird girl. I'm sure you can fucking tell by this entire YouTube channel. I was the weird little girl energy where I made potions in my backyard and growled at people and hissed at people because I wanted to be a vampire. We're gonna gloss over that real quick. But yeah. The Little Vampire, this movie is fantastic. It is about a little boy named Tony Thompson who moves to Scotland with his parents from California. He moves from California, and not only does he not want to be there, but he is a child that gets like very frightened easily, and as soon as they move to like this old castle, he starts having a lot of nightmares about vampires. And he meets a vampire, and they go on this whole little adventure, and they're best friends, and I've always wanted to have Tony Thompson's life, so yeah, that is The Little Vampire. I seriously recommend it. It's not just, like, a kid's movie, in my opinion. I think if movies can only be enjoyed by children, then they're not very good movies, just like books. So, I highly recommend it. It's very, like, power of friendship, like a taste of like supernatural and like a taste of world building while still being really fun and like good for the whole family. So seriously recommend it. Little Vampire. So the next movie I want to talk about, nobody in my like close circle of friends or just in my life has heard of it before, and the only reason I know this movie and have seen this movie is because my mom's a librarian and she knows that I was, whoa, I said that word weird, librarian, and she always knew that I had weird girl energy, so she found me the most like obscure and like niche things to watch and read. So, The Page Master? I'm sure once this is on the internet, you guys are going to be like, no, I definitely know that movie. If you haven't seen this movie, I seriously recommend it. It is fantastic, and it is a movie that kind of scared me as a kid, but I always went back and watched it. The Page Master actually stars Macaulay Culkin. That's one of the movies he made in that, like, time of, like, child fame that he had when he was really little, and I know that, like, time period of his life was actually really garbage. Now that he's like older and does different movies, that like information has come to light, but this is one of those movies that are so like well done, and I feel bad for being excited that he was in it and like happy that he was in it because of that time period that he was like acting in his personal life. But holy shit, this movie is fantastic. So it is about a kid who, I don't remember why exactly, but essentially he gets caught in a really bad storm. And he goes into a library to try to, right? The library, that's what really fucking sold me. He goes into a library to try to use the phone to get in contact with a guardian. And what happens is he slips and falls, like, in his own puddle, basically, and hits his head. And when he wakes up, he's in a, like, beautifully animated cartoon fantasy world. And he has 3 book guides. He has fantasy, adventure, and horror. And they go on multiple adventures before he comes out on the other side. And it's just, it's really fantastic. I highly recommend The Page Master. And that's just it. The library and the animation sold it for me. And that is another movie that I have seen over and over again. And it was a huge childhood staple of mine. The next movie, if you have not seen this movie, I don't know what rock you're living under. This is not to shame you. I just genuinely can't believe that there's not a person in this world who hasn't seen this movie. The movie is Holes. It's based off a book, and I don't remember. Was the book called Holes as well? I genuinely don't remember. I did end up reading the book later in my life because I saw Holes when it came out in 2003, and I was a youngin' in 2003. And then I read the book, I think, sometime in middle school or early high school. I don't remember the book well. It was not super memorable to me. The movie stood out to me more. But from what I understand and from can vaguely remember, the book and movie are, like, almost exactly the same, maybe a few minor details. Oh, the detail of the main character not like having a weight loss journey, kind of, but that was for the safety of the actor, which was Shia LaBeouf, so yeah. But Holes! Oh my god. Holes is about a young boy, Stanley Yelnats, who is wrongfully convicted of stealing a pair of sneakers. I don't remember in the book if he's supposed to be black, but in the movie he's white. And he is wrongfully convicted and sent to, like, a weird, like, juvenile boot camp prison thing, where they do manual labor and dig holes, and that is the most, like, bare bones plot that I'm going to give you, because if you haven't seen Holes, seriously go watch it. I'm only going to leave you with that as, like, the synopsis, because there's so much to it. Again, I don't remember the book well because I wasn't super floored by the book, and I remember reading it and being like, okay, well, I read it, and then not really caring. Because I did see the movie first, and I am one of those people that if I see, like subbed anime versus dubbed anime, if I see one before the other, to me, that's, like, the staple, like, that's what that anime is. So things like that. I saw the movie first when I was really little because it sounded like it was a good movie, and I loved it. It's got a very, like, rich and complicated plot, but it's not so complicated that you can't make sense of it, and by the end of the movie everything is wrapped up so well that you're like, holy shit, that makes sense, and then this, and then this. It's just a fantastic movie. I honestly, like, if it didn't win awards, I don't know if it did. If it didn't win awards, that's a fucking mistake on Hollywood's part, which wouldn't be the first time. But yeah. Oh, what happened to my thumb? But yeah, Holes. Holes is highly recommended. And this last movie, which recommendation I have, has kind of a fun fact. The star of this movie is Heath Ledger, and God rest his soul, he was a fantastic actor and a really good person from what I understand. This movie, when it came out, was, like, kind of disregarded, even with him in it. Like, I don't remember if this movie came out when he had already kind of made a name for himself in Hollywood, but when this movie came out, it was kind of completely disregarded, and nobody really appreciated it at the time, but it was after his death that people kind of picked it up again and saw it and realized that Heath Ledger made a huge, huge impact on film with just this movie alone. It is A Knight's Tale, and there is a book. I don't remember if the book was written before or after the movie, to be genuinely honest with you. I did read the book first when I was really little. I remember sleeping in my mom's room one night and her reading that book to me, and I think it had 2 or 3 books. The first one I remember the best, and even then it's really foggy. But yeah, A Knight's Tale is about a peasant-born man called William Thatcher who, through a series of events, starts jousting under the guise of being, like, a knight, like, of noble blood. And it's kind of his journey through that. There's some fucking sick musical numbers. As, like, a medieval kind of movie, it has some, like, sick modern musical numbers. And for me, A Knight's Tale and The Labyrinth kind of go in the same category in my brain, and I don't know what that category is, but the two of them go together. I have no idea what that category is, but they're together in my brain under the same category. I love them. A Knight's Tale is genuinely so fantastic, and I enjoyed it from the time I was like a young child, like 10 or 11, with my mom. Like, both of us loved it. It's very funny. There is some nudity in it, and not like gore. There's not gore. There's maybe like a tiny bit of blood, but it's very like movie blood. It's not like very convincing. I do know there's a scene of nudity, and Paul Bettany is in it. I didn't know that. Of course I knew that. I had seen the movie a million times, but I didn't realize until recently because of WandaVision, and 80s vision is fine as hell. I don't know what it is. Also, the 50s video, the 50s episode of WandaVision where he like growls when he asks her what she's wearing. Why does Paul Bettany do it for me? I don't know. He's a skinny white man. Nobody should be surprised. Nobody should be surprised. Okay, we're gonna gloss over that. But yeah, Paul Bettany is in it, and he's actually my favorite character. In the movie, after Heath Ledger, he is like a writer and like a poet or something, and he spends the whole movie just being the absolute worst, and I love him. Just some shit he says, and the reactions from the characters, like he'll say something sometimes and they just are like, same though. I'm both people in that situation. So yeah, Knight's Tale for Heath Ledger and Paul Bettany. Highly recommended. Alright, that was your, oh, that kind of fits. With the lighting, that kind of fits. That wasn't intentional, but it's like movie recs, and then like it kind of looks like I'm gonna watch a movie, like turn the lights off and watch a movie. It's just too fucking hot for lights right now. It is genuinely a miracle that I did my makeup and it didn't completely sweat off, but peep the orange brows and peep my new little orange shirt. This is such like a homosexual dad shirt and I love it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, please let me know if there are any links that you want me to kind of like have in my description to bring to people's awareness. And if you give me a link, it's going to be fairly newer, so I will like talk about it a little bit more. But all the links down below are always going to be important. It's not going to matter if one is like a little more prevalent. They're always going to be important, and you should always be checking them out and doing whatever you can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye! There were several times in that video where I just like, am I okay? Don't answer that.